Um, all right. I would say mine's is kind of like Kazak's, because my answer would have been, I am that I am also. Um, and I would say there was no particular thing that led me to where I'm at now. I think the whole lifestyle, everything I've been through led me to this point also. Um, Raised up, going to church with my grandmother, um, and my mother, which what I do give a great thing too, because she never made none of her children accept anything, go to church. She didn't make us do any of them things, but she did allow my grandparents to come pick us up for church. That's when we was younger or whatever. But once I became a teenager, I was just out there. I was just moving how teenagers move. If y'all know anything about being a teenager, we just moved how I moved, and wasn't going to church or none of that, and wasn't even looking for no spiritual pathways or nothing like that. But I had always been interested in martial arts, like Sifu Mike over there. Um, Always been into it because we grew up on Kung Fu theater. I mean, I grew up on Kung Fu theater. I
Right.
don't know if anybody else did.
My life.
And that was our thing.
Right.
We thinking we them Chinese people kicking when we get home. Oh, it's on.
Right.
You know. Um, and then I think my first wife, she was into church, so I would go with her sometimes, and sometimes we didn't go. I really wasn't looking for anything. And during those times, that's when I started taking martial arts classes or kung fu. And you get a lot of spiritual journeys within that system.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and this is the kicker. My master or Sifu, he was a Christian, but he held to certain martial art views or spiritual things. Cause it's time, man. We in there, we meditating, we doing like some Buddha stuff. You know what I'm saying? We doing these things. Um, so after that, I end up getting I was divorced and I end up getting remarried, and the young lady that I was married, which I met last week, the one that's gonna be talking on this podcast. Um, she was into church. She was really, doing church thing. And at that time I wasn't. So we end up start going to church and stuff. Actually, we would mime in church. I don't know if y'all know what miming is, but mime dancing in church. We did that for a while. And then, like I say, looking through the internet for music, ran across some Hebrew Israelites stuff up there, and I'm like, bro, this that definitely doesn't go inside what I understand. So I run up, go get my Bible and stuff, and so happened they're talking right out of the strips. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I do my little research, and the next thing you know, I'm holding Sabbath classes. So where I'm at now, well, at that time, I start understanding that I was an Israelite. My forefathers wrote this book for us, and where I'm at now, I would say they wrote this book for us to get to a higher state of consciousness for the whole nation to be there. It was written for them, nobody else, for them. Not saying that other people couldn't take hold of that that ideology. It's just like what I look at is like when you look at a lot of Asian people who do martial arts stuff. That was just only for them. They wouldn't share it with the world, but you had some that would come out and say, and then you still had people gravitating to it, like you say, I did in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s. Yo, Kung Fu Theater was the joint. That's what made me get into their culture a little bit more. So all of this, even down to my mother, and I didn't even realize it until she passed away couple last year, that she was teaching me from the get-go, not just to hold to one thought or to one understanding. And that's what I got from my mom when she was telling me. So that's where I'm at now. It's like, yo, don't hold to one thought. Listen to what they're saying. They might be saying the same thing you saying. You just using different words. And that's where I'm at now.
Right on.
Okay.
So for me, I would start by saying, kind of similar to my brothers, like I am. But what's unique to my perspective is that I'm a seeker. Um, I've always been like that. I I grew up, more or less in the Baptist home. Like, I'm from Houston or whatever, and that's kind of strong, but I've spent the majority, if not all of my adult life, seeking and learning, the truth of being within myself.
Right.
Uh so, my faith system, if you will, has developed over the years.
Right.
I remember when I met Kazak, I was I think I was either 21 or 22. We were sitting in the back of a vehicle, and at the time it was like this thing that was called like Satanism in hip hop or something like that. This dude used to do this show, and we wind up talking about it, and then that kind of led to us discussing some things about the Hebrew paradigm, and then the very next Saturday I see that I'm in a Shabbat service, right?
Right.
And I'm like, listen, man, like, I'm not trying to do that all day. And he's like, I ain't telling you got to stay all day, but at least just come check it out. And from there, my faith system, if you will, it's developed, is what I'll say. There's been some ebbs and some flows with that, right? But I understand that now it's just that's the natural rhythm of reuniting, to the truth of being within yourself. I can't really say that I lay hold to the box theory, right? Because that just doesn't fit the dynamic of how my life has been expressed, right? I've lived a life that's been completely out of the box.
Right.
So, and another thing that's really unique about me is that I see things, man. There's no way for me to kind of hide that or run from that. I'm just somebody that's very intimate with the concept of vision, if that's what we want to call it. And I've been like that since I was a little kid. I've had a very unique connection to music, especially things that are strings, right? So like pianos and harps and organs, and well, organs is not strings, but things like that, right? Those particular instruments really speak to me in a different degree. And I really enjoy those types of expressions, that are now present in the earth. But where I am now is, I'm like I said, I'm still seeking, right? I understand that there is one law, there is one truth. From that we create, we unite, right? But there's also the opposite of that. You can miscreate, right? And you can detach yourself from things too. So, that's just what it is for me. And I'm definitely in a place now where I don't see any value in focusing on what is negative about a person. I spent a lot of my adolescent years in that frame of thought, and that didn't work for me. So yeah, I mean that's where I'm at.
Facts.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Man.
A son. Wait, son of God. Or son of Adonai.
Had to count them. I guess it's the syllables. I mean, I think that that sums it up. I mean, I probably wouldn't go outside of that statement as well.
I will. I am God.
Ooh, controversy.
Oh yeah,
He done did it now.
yeah, he didn't done it. Yeah.
I was just trying to take it easy on y'all, but you know.
I'm not. Ain't no need because those questions gonna come up, especially when I show it to you in your book.
For now. For now.
I am me.
I am.
The prettiest guy in the world too. Just want to let you know that right now.
They can't hear you.
Prettiest guy in the world.
My man.
You know it. Confidence.
Mike, what you got, bro? Just
It's too much.
okay.
It's a lot.
Ooh,
Trying to put it in a package.
Gotcha.
To say it and I can't.
got you. I got what you saying. I hope they got what you saying. Yeah.
And I'm the prettiest one in the
Everybody, anybody else want to say something?
Nah, I think we good.
What values are most important to you and why?
Rapid fire.
I would say to be elusive, to be moldable, malleable, to be to constantly empty the cup, so
Right.
the cup can constantly be refilled.
Right.
For me,
Right.
you know, to stay in a constant state of awareness, but learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah. I would say for me, forever learning. Yeah. Same for me.
Oh, my number one is love.
Okay.
And like I said, some of the things I might say, I'll have to elaborate later. But when my SST or spiritual support team contacted me, that was the first thing they said to me. You know, you need to love more. And my answer was like, well, I do love. You know, I love my mother. I love my kids.
Right.
I love my wife. I love my family. And that was the lesson.
Right.
None of it is mine.
Right.
You know, and it was tough. So to answer the question, the first value is to me is learning how to love, and it's a state of consciousness and awareness, because I can't say when I was in love when I was 18, 19 that it was the wrong type of love. It was love as I understood it at that point in my life.
Right.
And how I understand love is probably going to be even more different another 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 2 months from now. But the journey has brought me to a path, or continued on the path of like understand, like with love, it starts